It is 6:18 p.m. on 2/2/23. Calling the Finance Committee meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the meeting from November 17th before the special town meeting. Don't everybody make a motion.
No. I motion that we accept the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussions, any corrections, any issues? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
Yep, perfect, okay. All right, tonight's purpose is to go over the budget that Gary has provided for us. So Gary, I got a couple of questions first to begin with. The Finance Committee recommended with the negatives. Is that just an oops that didn't get cleared out from last year?
That's an oops to get clear out from that, correct.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm
That's
fine
my
with
fault.
that.
That's correct.
I thought that I cleared them up today and I uploaded the latest version this afternoon. Is that the latest version from this afternoon?
No, because you didn't email it to me.
Oh, I apologize. It's
So-
on the drive.
Yeah, I don't, no.
So,
If
No, what?
I put it on my laptop,
Okay.
which has got Excel, not Google Sheets.
it's gone. So what is
Yeah,
it?
no,
What
it
the
is,
credits
it is
say?
an Excel doc on the Google Drive.
Right, exactly, but you're limited to what you can do, so I put it on my laptop so I can do all the fun stuff that we need to do on it, because it's
Gotcha.
limited on the Chromebook, plus it's tiny for those of
I
us.
fixed that today
Okay,
along with
that's
some
not a
other
problem, I'll
numbers,
get
so
rid of
yeah.
them. It's fine, because you didn't change any other numbers, it was just clearing out the Finance Committee, right?
Nope, some numbers did change today.
Okay, so you'll need to email me those.
Yes.
So what are the credits that were being cleared up?
On here, on the Finance Committee recommended, there were some credits,
Oh, they were,
yes,
and they were from
Last year.
last year,
last year. Okay.
okay,
Last year being April.
23.
Right.
FY '23.
Okay.
April, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Okay, school. We increased school, at least on the one I have.
I deleted all that today because we don't have any of that.
Okay,
Right, nothing.
okay, so Bay Path doesn't have anything.
There's nothing from the school.
Have we reached out to try to see?
Yes, I reached out last week.
Okay, I will call Joe Becker and ask when we will get it, because we've gotta kinda see where we stand.
No, I agree.
And it's getting
Okay.
late.
Do we have an idea? Do they have an idea?
No.
No, nothing,
will.
no, nothing concrete, no. So-
Well, I'm not looking for anything concrete. I'm looking for something that says maybe in the ballpark of. I mean, because we've gotta have something to be able to total it
Yeah, we have
up.
a ballpark of from, what you said, of, I wanna say, because I don't have this schedule right in front of me, but it's
Okay.
late, it's in March, late in March. I wanna say 27,
Okay,
so I told him I'm looking for something hopefully before March 1st, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. I did have a town administrators meeting with the district this week,
okay.
but to me, it's honestly gloom and doom. I don't know what we have, or what they have, I should say, so.
I mean, certainly we can work with the information, I mean, with the other budgets, but it's just trying to tie it back into.
Understood. Oh, I want it more than you do, believe me.
Where the hell we are.
Do you feel comfortable with, if we set an arbitrary number, say 6 or 7% with both schools, that we could carry that number to do that, or is that a waste of time?
I think that's a waste of time. With the one school, the other school, smaller one, I would. With the bigger school, I think that's a waste of time, my opinion.
Because you think it might come in much larger than,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Did they give any idea?
And they're gonna have this
7 and
meetings with
9%.
FinCom. They want meetings with the town
Yeah.
FinCom and boards of selectmen jointly. So to explain.
And I would like a budget before now, so they can start asking for everything they want, but at the point that, it's February.
I hear you.
I mean, they've been working on this since last fall,
And they do this every year.
but we get at least an idea of a number. They
No,
can
I
give us a
understand.
ballpark figure, this is just,
Well, so the question is, can they give us the worst case scenario? Tell me, out of the 27, we got 20 million. Tell me that, if that's what it's gonna be, if that's what they think. And then we'll bitch and complain about that, but,
We're good at that.
yeah.
Well,
I just would like to have some.
Understood, I'm kind of expecting between a 6 and 9% increase.
Okay.
were your
I did 9%.
meetings with your other town administrators of the other towns, did they all seem that together, or are some of the towns just gonna agree with whatever the school throws at them this year?
Good question. They all seem together, the administrators that I've met with. The only one that has any negativity about the subject matter is that he's even said, I'm only one vote, and he knows that whatever the school passes through, that town will vote for.
Cause that's the same town that gave extra plenty of years.
Every town there is talking override,
All we need is 4.
every town.
Okay.
Well, everybody can talk override.
I know,
We can talk override here all we want.
I know.
One of the problems that I had with last year's budget process is Sterling didn't stay with us at all.
Yeah.
Buck, when we went to that meeting down in Holden, Karen was tied up at the time. I went in her place, and it was. Did you go too? And I'm sorry.
That's
and we were and Ted was there also.
Yeah, he was
And
there.
we went there, but I sat up in the front, and we all conversed. And if they're not going to stand with us, we're never going to beat them.
Yeah.
And we all have to be lockstep. Not that we're going to be able to beat it anyways, but it's
Right.
better when 5 of the 5 towns all have the same mutual feeling. Sterling said, "We're giving you carte blanche. We love you guys. You do whatever you want." And that for us was hard to do. And then
Well, so what would so if we have the 4 others that say no, then we have to go back and do it anyway, redo it anyway.
correct.
So it doesn't matter if Sterling stands up and says
Well,
to everybody else.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's good to have everybody together, I understand that.
but what they actually did is they did what they wanted in the end anyways, and they did it. And then when it came down to time to vote against it, they weren't against it. And then it was really hard,
Yeah.
right? And they were very public that they weren't against it.
Yeah.
So I would just like everybody to stand and face the music all together if possible, but if they can't, I mean, I certainly told them how I felt last year, the people from Sterling, but it's not fair to everybody else.
Do we know if Sterling ended up passing it override?
I don't think they did they?
I don't think they needed to.
No.
I don't
They
think-
didn't, so they didn't need to.
I don't
No.
think so.
So that's why they agreed. They're not in the same boat that we're in.
Well,
No.
where they were in the boat is they just took whatever Wachusett's hit it was and just said, we're good.
Yeah, but we're in a situation where we just can't do that because we don't have that leeway to be able to just carte
you.
blanche accept where they are. The point is that if they don't need to do that,
Yeah,
they're,
so
they're just gonna
by
say,
the end
sure,
of this
whatever you
month.
want.
We'll have something.
Well, that's
Something.
in times past, all the towns stuck together, whether you needed an override or not, because eventually it impacts your budget, right? So that's what we just wanted everybody to stand together.
This is what you said, right?
That's what used to, but they're skeptical about those days,
So-
just so you know.
You know, I understand they didn't. It was no skin off their game, but they weren't going to stand with the rest of the towns that it was going to hurt them.
But nobody is forcing them to stand with anybody because they don't need it. They can go in and, as you said, they just love those guys. So they said, yes, let's go with whatever they have. But if they were in a situation where they had $10 to spend and this was $15 impact on their budget, they would have complained, they would have had to, or they would have gone for an override.
Well, let me go back one step. I don't think that the selectmen in the town of Rutland or the town administrator of the town of Rutland in the last few years would have blindly gone into a budget season and said, we're all set, we don't really care about the rest of you, like Sterling said last year.
Yeah.
We would have fought the fight with everybody. If someone came to us and said, this is gonna cripple us, we're 5 towns, we all stick together.
Okay.
We wouldn't, that's my only point.
Okay.
What they did is they just said, good luck, and they just went on their own way. And it impacted everybody else a lot.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't, if we were in that position, and we're not gonna be in that position for a few years,
Right.
we wouldn't do that to everybody. If it was a hue and cry. I can't see that our selectmen would say, screw you guys. We'd all stick together and fight and that's all we were asking to do is play in the same sandbox with us and don't stand outside and say, it's all good. That's all. We
Okay.
didn't have the bargaining power in 5 towns.
Okay.
That's all,
It's a good point.
and that's all that's where I was trying to get to. Took me
Okay.
ways to get there, but.
Okay.
Okay, so
Karen, did you get my email? I just emailed it to you.
I don't actually have it open, but I will. Okay, so I'm trying to get to the point of where we're at the bottom. And the problem that I'm because I just want to talk numbers. So I'm putting 9% here, I'm putting 5% here, just trying to get to the point where we can talk real dollars and cents as to where we're at. Because right now, we're just talking, again, still theoretical.
Right.
And to me, it only helps if you're looking at dollars and cents, because right now it's insurmountable to try to figure this out. So fire, you don't put everything in. Should I put everything in that they requested for wages and stuff like that? Or I know that there, I know
put
that.
in.
The new one is fixed.
Okay.
Do you want this? Do you want this one?
No, I wanted like,
Okay, all right.
No, I just emailed it to you.
yeah, because I like to.
All the blanks that you and I talked about the other day, Karen, everything is in. All the negatives were taken out. Credits.
Okay.
But it's not in the spreadsheet you have.
Yes, no, I'll have to start from scratch.
No,
Well, yeah, because some of the numbers have changed, so I have to see. Because that's the thing. I just want to make sure that we've got, so we can see because I have to know what the numbers are at this point. Because it's February, and if by chance we need to go for an override, we have to start having town meetings, information sessions, by no later than the middle of March, in order to have any chance in heck of being able to get something out there. So that means we're on a very abridged schedule. Because if we're gonna have any chance of passing it, the last time we were doing it last minute, right before, and it was really tough. And it was all last minute. I'd rather get it out there sooner than later, if that's the route that we feel that we need to go. We need to have hard numbers to kind of look at.
if we were, Gary must have a number based on today where we're at, right? If we use the 5 and the 9 or 6 or whatever that number, that second number,
For the
the
school.
Wachusett one,
Yeah.
we must have a number on our budgets, not over and above, like not. Where do you, Gary? Where would you think we would be at right now that we're going to be behind?
With our budget?
Yes, not with this budget, not request for a truck or a fire truck or anything like
Yeah, I
that.
have no equipment requests in.
No,
Nothing.
right.
So and Karen and I talked briefly about this the other day, before I entered the new number, so I would say over right now, needs based 1.4,
Over.
over last year's.
So where are we with revenues at that point?
So
Estimate.
all I got to go with revenues is what was entered in last year.
Okay,
I
so
don't have
whatever
new
we had
revenues.
last year's revenues, we're carrying into this
We're
revenues this
using that
year.
number for now.
For now.
Correct.
So 23,348,
23,
463.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm seeing that where the TA request is at 26. Basic math, it's 3 million. That's with a 9% for Wachusett and 5% for vocation.
Okay. So,
I figured do worst case.
Oh,
It's better
you have
than
to-
saying,
you have
oh,
to.
it'll come in lower and
You
then
have to do
we're,
worst
You have
case.
to. Worst case, you have to.
so we can whittle down to where we're all agreement with the number.
Yeah.
And if the rough number is 3, we can hone that number in.
Yep,
And then I think we should, at that point, once we get to where we're comfortable, and we should request Skip can bring back the information if the selectmen come here, but I think that we could also request a meeting with the selectmen to say, all right, guys, this is what the TA and what we think we want, we're gonna have to go forward with. Are you guys in support of this? number one, in what direction would you guys like to go with us forward? Because in the end, we make recommendations to the budget, we don't set the budget. So I think that at that point there, we should put in, let's say the delta is 3 million, put a budget together with 3 million. We have to decide whether we're gonna put in one override, two overrides, we're gonna pit departments against departments, how that's gonna work, that's number one. Then we're gonna have to, once we do that, if we go the whole thing, which that's fine, I don't care, we'll fight the fight, whatever we gotta do, but then we have to be all in agreement about how we're gonna go forward. And I think that that's gonna be the finance committee as a group, the TA, the selectmen as a group, so that we all portray the same line. When I close the shade on the back of the voting box, I can vote any way Darren feels, but at least we have to have the same
Right.
moving forward. I think we're on the same.
Company line
right,
has to be
right.
what the
Yeah.
same.
And Karen, if I'm
No,
talking to
you are correct, you are
all right?
correct. We
So
all
then-
have to be there for this
So
together.
I think that what we're gonna need to come up with, I see two different scenarios right now, but we gotta come into it with, if the two scenarios would be that there's one override for the delta of 3 million. If we wanna say public safety, town government, whatever else, there's another delta. I personally don't like, we've done this before, and I've been the recipient of it, and I've done it, go in and say the fire department needs an override for X. And we went to the town meeting and we had everybody there, and we got that. But I didn't help the highway department, and I don't know if it was Gary or Gary's predecessor at the time, because we didn't stand up for, at the time, it was all being the fire department, right? And I was rah, 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 fire department, and it wasn't, and it did, I could care less about the highway department, and if they didn't put it in, and they didn't get up and support it,
Right.
that's it. Now that looking at it from the long view on the finance committee, I think we just gotta come up with a plan to do it. And if we had to vote right now, I would say I'd like to keep them all together. And then, so it's equal for everybody, because I think with this budget that Gary put together, he did a good job, he asked everybody, this will bring us back to where we think we need to be. This is the new set point. I think that's what we haven't, so with 3 million, we haven't talked about a new highway truck or anything like that, right?
That's correct.
So, I think we gotta, at that point there, when we all decide 3 million, if that's the budget, I think there could be another override for equipment or capital expenses or whatever everybody wants that we can justify, we could put that one in.
But
That's
that-
the only separate override I would have.
But that wouldn't be a budget request, that'd be something, that'd
That would
be
be capital.
a separate.
Capital,
Capital.
yes.
Capital.
And so we'd be looking for an override for the capital.
Right,
as
I think there
opposed
would,
to-
versus a budget.
Right.
There would be two. That's the only thing, that's the only two I would think. It's
Yeah.
either a capital or a budget.
That makes
But
sense.
I don't wanna split them up, because
Okay.
it just pits, it pits more powerful departments against other departments. The library doesn't have any support, or, I'll pick out the library, she doesn't have any support, so she takes a cut. This one, Council on Aging doesn't have anybody to really fight the fight, and they lose. So what I don't wanna do is I don't wanna have a inter-department or inter-town fight.
Right.
Town hall versus this one, that one, whatever it is, in Darren's opinion, of course, we're gonna have to vote on how we do it.
Right.
But I think that's just laying out there, that I think we gotta do that.
So, just for a question for Gary, the budget that's put together now, is that a level funded, level service, or a needs budget?
That's needs-based.
It's needs based.
What I'm working on now, Peter, is to put down, because the only thing that we'll increase the contractual obligations. We know of the increase we know about, such as health insurance.
Right.
Workers' comp. So those will have to stay in, because we know of those increases. And all the increases in purchase services and supplies are the ones that are gonna have to be cut back to level.
Okay.
That's what I'm working on now for the next spreadsheet.
Okay, so we're at needs right now,
Needs.
and this budget will satisfy those needs.
It will, I feel this is the budget the town really needs to do, because it's
Okay.
just been too long.
Now the question is going to be, going back to the override, what do we have to do to address that? Because as much as you want to put it all together and do it as one presentation, once you get to after the town meeting, which you could probably get it by, it's going to the election where it doesn't happen. It has not happened.
Okay, regardless of all of this, the fact is, we're gonna be doing 3 or 4 iterations of this budget. Because we're not gonna be able to just get away with one. We're gonna be doing 3 or 4 iterations, because we're gonna have to do what happens if this, what happens if that, so this is gonna be kinda messy. So what are the major increases in this budget? Adding of people, adding of, like I'm seeing $21,000 under Conservation Commission.
Yeah, I don't think the bigger part of your increases, Karen, or commissions, the biggest part of your increases are contractual obligations and the much-needed increase in services and supplies.
And I get that, but we're going to have to, you gotta think at broad scale now. Now we're gonna have to say, this budget only gives us this and this, but we did add this, this, and this. You have to think of it as if you're doing a board of directors presentation, of 30,000 feet. Because what you don't want is someone to come to the town meeting, get one of these and go, they said they didn't have anything new, and look at this, there's $21,000 that's never been there. And you know the gentleman sitting right up front that'll be standing up saying it. So I just rather have it out there, let's get it out there, put it on, we can put it together in a document. Let's be honest and upfront on all of this kind of stuff. So we have a conservation agent, that's new.
So the question is, what are the drivers? What are the cost drivers?
Well, it's $21,000.
That's one.
And we're gonna try to get to 3 million with this
No,
person?
I'm looking at what are the extras that
The
are
new
in
ones.
this budget. New people, new items that have never been in the budget before that, I'm not saying aren't needed, but we want to be able to point them out as brand new, never seen before.
And justify them.
And justify them. I'm just saying, if all of a sudden we decided to add 6 more Tamikas in the town administrator's office, well, what's the justification for it and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm saying, is trying to go through this as if we're looking at a presentation to a board of directors to say, here are the things that we're looking at and that are new and different in here. Contractual obligations, that's fine. Those have been signed. That's easy. And yes, I know that it's not easy, but that's something that's already been done. But things that are very different that aren't in here.
Well, besides conservation agent, you have an additional treasurer collector person.
Assistant,
You have, and you have the 3 additional personnel for DPW. And I think that's all of the extra.
Nope, there's a new position for lieutenant in the police
Oh, right,
department.
lieutenant and deputy chief of the
There's a
fire.
deputy chief in the fire department.
new policeman. So is that, which union contract is that?
I think that's probably gonna fall under the sergeants, likely the sergeants union. A deputy chief in the fire department.
Would that be a union member or not?
I think it'd be a management
No.
as opposed to, MTP as opposed to a union member.
And both of those, would the lieutenant be the same way?
I believe so.
I think so. Now that
Because you have a sergeant's union, you have a patrolman's union, and you're not gonna have a lieutenant's union. You're not gonna put the lieutenant with the sergeant as a rank.
So he's gonna be management instead of on a union, okay?
And then Seth has separated out emergency management to be its own position with its own salary. And
That increase
5,000 a
of
year.
that amount was for that position to do with the fire. There's not 2 separate positions.
Well, currently, it's, the pay is different, like this is, being separated out as its own position at $105,000 a year, whereas somebody separate from him Whereas right now, he's serving both of those roles and he gets a certain stipend
He does,
for that.
and it's
So this
nothing.
He's, right, so this is being structured different at $105,000 annually.
Right, because if we were to ever go through with what we went through for the last 3 years, he can't do both.
Right.
I mean, he
So-
can do 1 or 2 days, but he can't do 3 years.
Yes.
So you're saying that that's the same number as the deputy chief in emergency management?
Those are two separate positions.
Yeah,
Okay,
One is the deputy chief would be for the fire department. Right now Seth is serving as the emergency management director and he receives a stipend for that.
okay.
He's proposing creating a new position, new person at an annual salary of $105,000 a year.
and last year we budgeted $1,500.
That's a
Well,
big
we're close.
increase.
Yeah.
Just a few zeros.
So that's the thing, that, these are reasons why, I'm like, these are the things we just put together, we look at, I'm not saying that they're not justified, I'm not saying
that.
that, but it's just putting it together. What are the highlights, are the changes, the inflationary costs, all of that kind of stuff.
So I
Listen,
don't see,
we're all facing that in our own lives.
so I don't see a number dragged over Tamika for, unless I'm missing something, I don't see,
Emergency management is its own category.
right, but I don't see a deputy chief up here on the fire
I don't
department say
either.
that.
I don't know, cause I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, we can figure it out.
Yeah, it's right, that, it's, well, it can't be
Yeah,
under
the way I
purchase
understand
services.
it, is one position for 105
Okay,
for the EMD slash deputy chief to assist the chief.
okay, then that was my
That's the way I
mistake.
understand it.
Okay, so
So
the deputy
that makes
chief,
So
sense.
deputy chief and
It's
emergency
emergency
management are together.
I
So it's
One
and the same.
105 total,
There's no 105 under fire.
okay.
Under the
Under
emergency
emergency
management, you can see on the
Okay.
wages,
Yeah, that's
105.
with the deputy, oh.
okay,
And I see the lieutenant on the police department there, that's right there, that's 105 as well.
yep.
Okay,
Apologize, that was my mistake.
No, that's okay. Gee, you only have, what, 700 lines of stuff to remember, it's not so bad.
that's the worst thing you do all day.
You know, by May 5th, we expect you to know this, but up until then, you can still know. But okay, so those are the major things. Now, what did we budget for an increase for our health insurance?
10%.
10? You think that's enough?
That's what we're told by the representatives. We have to expect a 10% increase.
We,
I think that's low.
we had asked,
And I understand that, but that's what they told us when they were here.
we had asked her, to come up with a way to do a cost savings, and I don't know exactly know how.
It's an
you-
HRA.
HRA.
Up the deductible and institute an HRA.
Did you know if they did any of that,
I
Gary?
thought that was voted down,
It was by the IAC.
by the IAC was voted down.
But that would be.
That's an insurance advisory committee.
Increase the deductible and lower the premium.
Yes, but then institute an HRA so that anyone who has, like for instance, my company, we have, a $5,000 deductible. But after you pay $1,000, the company reimburses you for the last $4,000. So it's a higher deductible, and if God forbid you need it, you pay the deductible, but you get reimbursed for it. So it's
Okay.
It's a gamble.
a gamble,
Yep.
but chances, I know it's worked very well for us for the last 2 years.
All right, I will check on that.
I know that we had asked,
And she said she was going to do it for this year.
yeah,
And Carol had said last year that she was looking forward to working on it.
Okay.
So,
And that can be conveyed through the, whoever handles our insurance to the employees.
the broker can do it.
The broker can
Yeah, the
do
broker
it,
will
it's
do
not
it.
up to
They
the
should
town
be
to
looking
do
at
it.
that anyway. They should be looking at all avenues. Any good broker will look at that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they might already be looking at it, to be honest. They may have shown
And
that.
the broker is going to have to sell it. There's no two ways about it. It's going to have to sell it. But the chances of you saving money as a town are probably greater because what did we hear? 7 people last year used a deductible, and we didn't know how much of each deductible that was used. So if only 7 people out of the how many of our employees that we currently have,
100 plus, yeah.
80.
then it's really, we probably could save more money. And each of the employees would save more every week because we'd have less
Premium
to
costs.
premium pay. So I get it, no one's happy to hear that their deductible is going up, but if they hear that they're going to get reimbursed for it, it's a little bit different and,
Well, and it also, I don't think the HRA has a say in it. The towns, the people that govern the town need to have a say in that, not the people in the HRA.
no, the IAC.
Whatever, I
The
don't know.
select board actually chooses which one the.
Right,
what the
well,
name
that's
is.
where I'm going with this.
Yep.
It's not the employees that choose it.
They make their recommendation and the select board makes the decision.
The
That is
IAC
correct.
is made up of employees.
Yeah, but,
And if they
Yeah,
don't
but-
understand how it works, it's an education.
yeah, but
So
what,
if they can understand it more, that it's really not gonna, it's beneficial to them, it's not gonna cost them anything. It may save them money.
so you're saying in municipal government, just clarify this point for me, that the group can recommend to the people that run the town what they want for insurance and we have no say in it.
No,
We.
they make a recommendation and the select board makes the choice.
Right, so who's the we that you're talking?
Selectmen,
Selectmen.
or the people that pay the bills, Darren Ross taxpayer.
The
We have
taxpayers,
no- yeah,
the taxpayers don't.
No, but where I'm going with this is, he, Skip's the selectman that works for me as a taxpayer. So Skip and the selectmen are gonna make the ultimate decision.
Correct.
They're gonna, the group is gonna say, we don't like that, and then it's up to the selectmen to decide
That
if
is
they
correct.
want it or not.
That is correct.
Based on the amount of savings or whatever we can do.
Same way
I'm
the
good with
company
it.
would too.
Yeah, absolutely, I just didn't understand the way it
Yeah, because I know last year you guys went against the IAC, I believe, because they wanted something else and it just wasn't economically feasible for the
Which is
town.
pretty standard, to be honest.
Right.
It's pretty
So
standard.
the other,
Not so much here, but yes.
so the other thing that we had asked last year was ask the Board of Health to look at one hauler or
Yeah.
to do that, and when they did it, didn't work out as well. There were some reasons, some of the towns, local towns, remember me and you were at
Right,
the
well,
meeting?
they couldn't get one hauler that wanted the job and.
Yeah, and there was a bunch of problems, so Butch did,
Right.
cause remember we asked
Yep.
them to just come back and see if we could save money on, people's bills, number one, and number two, roads and things like that. We're not set up to do that yet, but they at least looked into it and found
Right,
out that it
right.
wasn't feasible, just so everybody knows,
Yeah.
being clear, that we asked and they did what we had asked. And, okay. So I guess one of my questions is, once we go with a number, and if the delta is $3 million, then one of the scenarios that's gonna be put back on a town administrator is he's gonna have to come back and say, one of my budgets, if the override doesn't pass, is gonna be X cut out of everybody's budget. And I just wanna make it clear as a finance committee member that we will recommend and help him get there, but it's not gonna be my decision that the highway department's gonna lose a truck or a guy or whatever. And that's, cause the finance committee really is a recommendation based on the information we're given. We don't decide policy, and policy would be, we're gonna cut $3 million out of the budget.
Well, so from the perspective of, as Karen was saying before, if we're gonna do multiple iterations, there will be if we have to get to this point, if we have to get to this point, if we have to get to this point. And then as we go through the town meeting, we're going to, or before then, if the town meeting selects option number 3, we already know what the number's gonna be. At that point, we'll know. And then everybody has to, it's gonna be an indication back to the town administrator to direct the town departments to be able to take so much money out of their budgets. I mean, that's the way it would work,
Well,
I would think.
two things, do we know when the election is, and when this will be voted on, before or after?
May 8th.
It's after, they haven't changed anything, it's still, we have the meeting and then it's the election afterwards.
Is that a bylaw, or is that something the selectmen can change?
That was changed once before, right?
That is
the
currently how
change.
it is written, it was voted in, so that is how it is. It is the meeting first and then the
It
election.
wasn't that long ago that they did the other way around. 5 years, 6 years ago maybe?
Oh, no, it was more than that,
It was?
cause, yeah, it was
Okay.
Eddie Bracebridge that had brought that up, to
Okay.
change it. It was before we had a town administrator.
Right.
It
Okay.
was before we had a town administrator.
So we go to meeting. So the meeting might agree to option 3. But the vote,
It all hangs upon what the voters do.
they may not, they may go with
I
option
So-
4.
understand that.
So that's the thing. So now, the other question comes in. Now, if Wachusett has the potential to have a draft budget due on February 23rd, and you said they don't feel terribly comfortable with that number, how do we go about changing the town meeting if we have to?
That's.
'Cause,
the bylaws.
I mean-
The first Saturday of the month.
Okay,
It's the first
okay,
Saturday of the month.
but let's just say they don't get us, a budget until the middle of March.
What's the contingency?
That doesn't give a, I mean, I love doing this job, but I'm not planning on being here 5 nights a week trying to get this budget to balance.
Okay, I can't answer that question, but I'll find out.
Yeah, cause that would be the thing is when, how do we go about moving that if we have to?
If I may, I don't think we're bound to a bylaw, because if you remember during COVID, we didn't have it until June.
That was due to COVID, we had some extra rules.
So that's why it
State of
allowed us
Made
to do
extra
that.
rules, and that's why I wanna find out what it is that we have to do, because if it's not ready to go, we don't wanna go and then not have it ready to
Okay,
go,
gotcha.
because that's awful.
The school doesn't feel like they can get a budget by February 23rd? Which
That's
is
what-
4
that's what
months
Gary's
before
told-
their school starts?
That's what Gary's been told.
Yeah, they're not, no, I'm telling, they're not, it wasn't a positive conversation. To me, it was a gloom and doom meeting. They're not even reconciled for 21 yet.
Their job is very hard.
And they're actually, just so you know, they're like $1.7 million in the hole.
1.6 in the hole already.
Yeah. So they're.
But they didn't use one-time funds last year to balance their budget, but that's okay.
But didn't
So it's gonna
McCall
be
get up
interesting.
last year and say, yes, he did?
No,
That they
he
wouldn't
got up
be
and said, no,
available in the
they were not one-time funds.
I don't recall.
We all knew he was using one-time funds, but anyway, it's not important. Okay,
So I guess where my,
the sins of them is for them to figure out how they're gonna
right.
make it, not us.
Karen, just another statement.
Yeah,
So where I was going with this before is, and why I said that it's not our job to do that is, and just so Gary's 100% clear and I'm transparent, is in years, last year, we got pitted against departments. And
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, we got pitted against departments that was very uncomfortable for us to do. And what I don't wanna do is, and I don't think you would do that, but, and we'll work together with you, but we can't go like around town in fear that we're gonna get,
Arrested?
no, arrested,
Yelled at.
beat up, yelled at like we were last time. And I'm not, Darren's not gonna do it that, and I'm not gonna put Lynn and all the new members in that fire. So we just gotta work together, but what happened before, there was meetings with department heads, and it was the finance committee is cutting your budget. That's not how it works, but that's what it was portrayed
Right.
to the
Okay.
department head. Just, it's all on how you bring it out to them. You're a different person, and we love you. But I am not gonna go through another year after that where, you go to do something and someone's like, oh, so you're one of the guys that cut our budget. Whoa, whoa,
Okay, all right.
We don't have that same dynamic this year that we had.
Well, we don't have that dynamic as long as we make sure that our town administrator
I'm not
And as you said,
helps us.
I'm
know
not worried,
this
he's
guy,
gonna work
so-
with us, so that's
Yeah.
not gonna be an issue.
Didn't we, Karen, years back, didn't we base it percentage-wise on what the reduction of each?
We did, we've
department
done
was?
that,
And didn't
we've
that
done
work?
dollars and cents, we've done a lot of different ways over the years, different things that we can do, because 10% hits less to the fire department than it does to the
Oh, I
council on
understand that, but
aging, so.
Wasn't it a percentage of their bottom line
We
budget?
usually
So
hit
everything come
10%,
out-
yeah, we've done things where it was hitting,
Okay, all right.
And then we
where it gets the
decided,
most bang for the buck, which.
and then the ones that just couldn't take it, we didn't do it.
Right, we couldn't.
And there were some departments that said, all right, guys, this is what we need to run, we can't do it, and they were right up front with us, and that was good. Then there was.
Which is why it's easier for us to be able to make a request to the school, because they've got such a big number that they're dealing with.
Correct.
Telephones, how are we running so far this year with telephones?
Good.
So they've been right about where we're setting on budget, so we finally got through that mess where it wasn't making
Yes,
sense?
Yes, yep, it's a consistent bill every month.
Fantastic.
Which is great.
Thank you.
And when I budgeted.
So you don't need 20 coming, because you have one.
I know, but I had to put something that was, I just didn't wanna hit another department, I figured you guys weren't gonna take offense, others might. Okay, so I guess, what does everybody want to do? We are right now, bottom line, right now, it's 3 million. So where do we wanna start? Do we wanna meet twice a week? Do we wanna meet once a week? Do we wanna meet with, how do we wanna go about this? You guys need to tell me how you guys wanna do it, and we'll get it planned.
Well, so what's the objective of the meetings? To be able to sit with the...
Objectives is to sit down with the department heads and
And-
go over their budget and discuss what they've submitted, why they've submitted it, what they, so we can really get into, yeah, there's an increase on this line and it doesn't seem like much, but is it really, have them tell us what they submitted and why they
So
submitted.
we're looking to understand what their needs are.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the needs are already in the budget. So we're looking to hear what their needs are.
You got it?
And then at that meeting, I would think that we would want to be able to convey at some point that they need to start thinking through what happens if they don't get that request, right?
The good news is I don't think we have any department heads in this town that don't know that they always have to be thinking about the next iteration.
Well, and that's, I totally agree with that.
I don't think we have anybody that isn't already thinking that way.
They
but-
know where they live.
Yeah,
They
they know. Because that was the whole thing. We can definitely tell them, but I don't think we have any department heads here who don't already think that Rick is gonna be tough.
To Darren's point, I think it would probably be beneficial if we could guide them to the point where we think that they should be. Without getting them to the point where you gotta take out so many dollars in salaries and so many dollars in. Just, it looks like we're going to be, and if we just wanna do an overall total, looks like we're going to be 7% over our 2.5 override, or 7% over last year, or whatever the goal is that we say, and that they should be preparing for I don't want to say directive, but a request to get their budget down to that 7% number, 7% less.
Well, you can't do that,
Right.
cause that's the thing, you can't hit every budget by 7%. Because taking 7% out of
Yeah, you're right.
this takes too much out and they can't do squatola for the
Okay.
town versus a 10% cut in some of the larger. I'm not saying it's the right way, but unfortunately, it's just how it is.
But that shouldn't be our recommendation.
Well, so.
I don't think we should go department by department, because that's how we got in trouble before.
I'm not saying we go line by line like we did before, but
No,
we.
but I don't wanna tell I don't wanna tell the library, you get 7, you gotta cut your budget by 10, but then go to the fire department and say 3. That should be a Gary thing.
Well,
With our help, but I'm not doing that. I'll miss that meeting. I am not gonna go pick department by department.
Okay,
You don't agree?
I don't agree. It's
No,
our
but we
job to go through and do this.
Sell me on this then.
It's our job to go through and present, it's our job to present a balanced budget at the town meeting.
But it's
So
not.
we should.
We work with the town administrator, we work with the town department heads to get there. But it is not something that we just go, here we go, figure it out,
Figure it out.
and bring it to us. We have to work through this. Otherwise, we could have a meeting the Thursday before the meeting and go, here we go.
So you made a point before about, well, you can't go in and be unilateral with it, because
Right.
it's not going to, it's going to affect some people more significantly less.
Yep.
So we should have a strategy or a policy or something that says that we need to be able to take these departments, or take them in the order of impact or value or total or whatever it is, however we want to be able to do it. But we're going to look at them, and maybe the larger departments will get a a little bit larger of an adjustment than the smaller departments. Or we just say, we are going to exclude these 6 departments. We won't deal with them. They are what they are, they're gonna stay what they are, and then the rest of the departments will have to shoulder the burden.
Karen, is your computer set up so that you could see the percentage increase per department over last year?
No, because the spreadsheet is such that it's based upon the TA request and the FinCom recommended, and I didn't have a chance today to go back through. I was at work too late
I think
today.
that would be,
That is one of the first things that we'd have to do.
we'd have to see what the.
Exactly.
And
And
we
I'm
can
in-
either do that in there, and you take page 2 to 4, Alex.
No,
you
no,
take page-
no, because for me, it's very easy, we just go down and do this and I'll send it to you, that's
Change
not
the
an issue.
percentages.
So,
I can do that for you if you want.
okay, that'd be great.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, that'd be
No,
wonderful,
that'll
thank
be
you.
fine.
Because that's the whole thing. It's based right now upon the FinCom recommended versus the TA request. And that was because that's the final budget, that's how we do it. So we can see where the cuts were made, but now we need to do it the other way so that we
Yes.
can see it. And then we move it back, so yes, we know that.
Well, I was gonna get you the second phase, like I said earlier.
Yeah, this is
To go
gonna,
through this, and like we've been working on now, is to go through this and take out the extras, if you will. We can't take out the contractual obligations.
No.
We can certainly remove the, much as I hate to say it, the needed positions, the extra positions, we can remove that stuff.
Well, actually,
Purchase
we're
services
not
dollar.
taking,
Another bottom line.
we're not
But
taking
now-
anything out, we're recommending that it not be included.
That's what the
right,
second.
so,
Because
now
that's
this
again-
is stuff that the department heads have provided to you a level service budget.
This budget was.
No, this is needs-based, but the next iteration that you're
You
doing,
get the level service budget from me.
you're gonna do level service. You're not gonna have them tell you what level service is.
Right.
Like,
Might require some input, but
Yeah, I was gonna say,
what was that?
yeah.
that sounds
It
like
might
it'd be
require-
difficult to do without.
Yeah, without some input, cause yeah, you can't just, yeah, I get
I'm
it,
sure he's gonna meet with them.
but yeah, so that's fine.
Okay. We'll do it together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that, cause we'll do, so the first one can be, the first one we'll do, needs-based, and then we'll do the next one and it'll say, so we can just keep adding,
I like
we can keep adding columns, this is gonna be a large spreadsheet by the time we're
But it's
done.
options, it's options.
It is, we have to,
That's what you
this
have to
is, you remember the year that Margaret had to take the cut on the floor to make it balance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is gonna be a year like that,
I mean, the biggest percentage increases are pretty easy to identify.
yes,
So,
they are. But it'd be nice to be able to go down and just see a line,
Right.
boom,
Yep.
there's a percentage and be done. And I'm in agreement. I tried to get to that today, but we had some fires come up
How
at the
dare you.
office.
I'll take care of it.
I know, I ran out of time.
I think we're going in the right direction, I think it's the way we gotta do it, but.
So-
I agree.
So, I'm gonna throw out my idea, and then you people tell me what you think. I think we meet with DPW, fire, police, dispatch,
Library?
and we can meet with the library. Let's meet with all of them, see where they're at. And then from there, look at you. See?
This is from last year.
do we have
Yeah.
a plan ready to go?
And this from last year, we had used this last year, but I think we gotta meet with the big departments first.
And could we have a meeting, I agree with you.
Yep,
If we could have a meeting to show the different things that Peter's gonna work on before that, that would be helpful.
what, the ones with the percentages?
And percentages and needs, if we can get,
Well, we won't have the needs-based,
Yeah,
but
that's-
take a little
that's
bit to get that.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
So-
if we could get that,
Well, that's the thing, once Peter does it, we'll email it out to everybody, so
Yeah.
everyone will have it, it's not a problem. And I'll send you this one, cause this one's got the 9% and the
Please.
5%.
Yeah.
So that way you've got it. So, I mean, I think that's, that would be my thing, is start with the big guys first, because those are the ones that, not are more important, that's not it. It's just, they're the ones
They
that.
have a bigger impact.
They have a bigger impact, so truthfully, typically, they shoulder most of the burden.
And
Right.
having a larger base like that, they're more prepared to manage their overall spending within that big number.
Okay?
No, it's just the way it is.
I think that they're at the point now where we can't keep pinching them anymore.
Well, but if we're talking about, like, the library can't take 10 cents off of theirs, they're in a much more difficult situation than the police department or even the dispatch. You know,
Right.
it's, they,
I'm thinking more of, we
Wait,
can't,
did you say the library is in a more difficult position than the police department?
because their change, their
7%.
requested amount impacts them more significantly.
Sure, but I think you also have to identify the opposite of that is the necessity of
I
what you're
agree.
talking about.
Oh, yeah, no, you get through needs, you get through,
Yeah.
level service.
That's not what I meant.
no,
The necessity of the department.
yeah,
I think is
the
my point.
unfortunate,
No, I'm sorry.
well, I will tell you, my first
Not
year
that I'm
here,
saying we shouldn't
the
have
first
it,
year here, I made the fatal mistake of saying, well, we'll just balance the budget by closing the library. You can't do that. It will harm everyone in this town because you cannot borrow a
Yep.
book from another library anywhere in the state. So,
Not
I'll
by
put
me.
that there. I'm not saying anyone said
No,
it.
but I
I'm just
guess-
saying I did that my first year on the committee. Don't do it. It harms everybody.
No, but I don't understand, Alex, are you saying that we would be trying to assess whether or not the library is justified?
No, never mind.
Okay, sorry.
Karen got me.
Yep. So,
Well, I think I'd like to know what you're talking about.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
so do we want to start next Thursday? Do we want to start next, what does everybody want to
Did
do?
we decide on how many days? I think 1 day a week is probably
That's fine.
good.
We can do one day.
Till we get
Till we
going,
get
you know, till
going.
we
Right.
get into the thick of it, right?
Yeah, sure.
But we should start next week.
Yeah, sure. He's got a baby that's crawling around now and he's like, nah.
Karen, how many do you generally take care of in one night? You do 2, 3 biggies in one night, or you mix it
I
up
think
a
it
little
depends
bit
on the
like we
It
used
size.
depends upon the
Size.
size, because like,
We couldn't do fire and police the same day.
Police is kind of like,
yeah, I
Well,
mean,
you
by
do
the,
what- yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
by the time you go through those,
Okay.
it's almost too much. We could do probably fire and library in a day, but we couldn't do fire, police, DPW in and of itself, because you figure there's,
It's a lot of detail with the.
there's a lot of detail, and there's not just the one department, there's several departments under them.
But what was nice though, the last time we did this, we went through them pretty quick because they were prepared.
Yeah,
And then the year before they weren't. It was
No, no.
kind
Um,
of,
yeah.
yeah. So
No.
I think we could
we could,
err on the, we could go with 2 or 3
right.
the first time and then see where we did
Right.
it. But
We
I
do
think,
fire, emergency management, public safety, buildings and ambulance, and we can probably throw in the library on the day.
Yeah.
And then we do highway, everything Joe does, I think that takes one whole night.
Are we required to go line by line with them?
We are not required.
No, but you'd want to know what these things.
No, but I mean, I recall last year they literally they had $100 in an account for supplies and they went through the supplies of I felt like there was a bit of unnecessary.
I think what they're trying to do is just tell us what is in each of the lines, so we understand by cutting this line,
The impact.
this is what it impacts.
Okay.
A lot of that is in their narratives as well.
Exactly.
And especially like the public safety, they put together some very extensive presentations, so that's all available to you guys as well.
Exactly.
To look at ahead of time. so it
Exactly.
and if we
doesn't
could
have
get,
to be
if we
as
can get it
minute.
up ahead of time,
You
get
do
it to
it.
us, we can go
Yeah.
over it and.
Yeah, it's all in
It's
your,
on the
it's all in your
drive.
book or in your drive.
Yep, you've already got it.
It's
Yep.
on the drive too, right?
It's in,
It's on
yeah,
both,
it's
yep,
both.
and it's in the book.
Yeah, good.
Okay,
Yep.
You want to get your big PowerPoint? I heard that you wanted a big PowerPoint presentation.
Only if it has animated graphics.
So, I'm sorry, I don't know what next Thursday is.
Next Thursday is the 9th.
Okay, so next Thursday, the 9th, we do not have Gary here, and we do not have Tamika here.
So we're not meeting next Thursday.
Meeting with the select board and the planning board next Thursday.
It's just,
Wednesday.
is it firm?
Oh,
Yes.
Wednesday? Oh, okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay.
It's taken, a long time to get that date. And then Wednesday is the select board meeting.
So,
We can do
So,
it Tuesday.
now-
I mean, we gotta
Tuesday
do
is how we
it.
vote.
What
So
about
it's-
Monday, Karen?
Just kidding, I
Are
have
they
no idea
meeting
what it
Monday?
is.
'Cause the select board's not meeting on
Yeah,
Monday.
Monday they're not meeting.
Okay, so we have the Monday the 6th. I'm like, what day of the week is it? It's Monday
Yeah,
the
the only-
6th.
yeah, the only
Is
problem
anyone,
is-
is anyone available on Monday? Are you available on Monday?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
just saying,
but-
the only problem with that, it doesn't give me a chance to go through a level.
I don't think we were expecting that for
No,
this.
I think we're gonna start meeting with.
We're gonna start
departments.
meeting with departments on this,
On
because
this?
we can't, yes, on this
But
one, go through
we
it.
don't expect you to do that.
No, I mean,
Alright.
you have plenty of days, you have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah. So how about,
We don't have enough time to post it.
yeah, I
If
was
you
just
work
thinking
late,
the
you
same
can almost
thing.
get 2
We
days
can't
out
do
of
it
work.
Monday.
I just realized that.
Is Tuesday enough time?
Tuesday's enough time.
Well, I'll check my busy schedule, but I'm available any day of the week.
Are you available Tuesday? No, you have
I
something
have
Tuesday.
Concom Tuesday night, but if I can switch if I need to.
You available Tuesday?
Yeah.
Plus the other side of things is Tuesdays, this is gonna be a lot because you guys aren't in tomorrow, and to ask the department heads, we have to make sure that the department heads can make it.
Yeah, but I can still, if you give me the batting order, who you want on Tuesday, I'll take care of that.
Okay, who do we want, guys?
Who do we think will be most prepared for?
Seth is ready to roll.
Okay.
That'll be the longest. Probably
Fire
the
and
longest.
all
No,
the-
DPW is usually the longest.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, let's do fire and all the little things that he does.
Fire, so all Seth's departments.
Yeah.
And then why don't we do the library at the end of that? Just for giggles.
She works
Do you
on
think she'll be
Tuesdays,
ready
right?
to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll be ready to go on Tuesday.
She should be, yeah.
Okay.
Because everybody's done.
Yeah, but it's like,
She
you know.
usually likes her board of trustees to attend, so she can reach out to them, but I'll let Carrie know, cause she's
Okay.
usually there on Tuesday nights anyways.
Okay.
I don't want to pressure or like. That's
Well,
a quick turnaround time.
Well, they've known about this since August.
Yeah, but
And they have everything.
I mean, in all honesty,
It should be
Gary sent it
ready.
out,
be-
this should be
But
prepared.
between everybody in this room, if she has a problem with it, she'll push back.
Oh, yeah, she
Which is good.
won't have
I would
problems on
absolutely
us.
would.
So then we got,
Not a bad thing.
2/16.
I'm gonna be out of town, but I'll call in.
You can call in from, it's middle of the afternoon for you, is that gonna be
I
okay?
would love to call in the middle of the afternoon.
You said 2/16?
Yes,
Oh, so it's the following Tuesday. We're
it's
not
the
doing
following
Tuesday.
Thursday.
Following Thursday.
Oh, we're planning them all out now.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, at least the first couple of weeks.
I gotcha.
Because
Yep, sorry.
I also think it's nice if we put them all up on the calendar so people can see when we're
Actually,
meeting.
Thursday's better for me when I'm out of town, so that works out.
Okay,
Who are we doing that night?
so, you wanna do DPW that night?
Yep.
Sure.
Let's get the big ones done.
And then who would we put with DPW?
Probably just DPW. Or a very small one, maybe.
We could do the police and the communications, the one more, and that would cover all our big ones, right?
Right,
If you
So-
wanted to do a quicker, small one on the DPW night, we could hit up the boards and commissions, cause the majority of those I prepared the budgets for, and they're very basic.
I don't know if
The
we
only
need
one
to-
is Concom.
I'm
we need to
thinking
go
at this
over them?
point, I don't think we're there.
Okay.
I'm thinking if we're gonna try to get this done in the shorter time frame, the boards and commissions are gonna not have to come to us this year.
And if they do, we can,
Some of them are just 2 line items. too,
Right,
so
exactly, and it's, you know,
there's no significant changes, is there?
Concom.
not that I've noticed, Concom's the only one I noticed right away.
Animal control might be a good one.
That's under,
That's under
police.
Police.
It is, okay.
Yeah, and he does traffic control too.
So how about that? The next Thursday, we do the police, and then the next Thursday,
The 23rd
yeah, we do the highway department. And
to,
then,
No, I thought we were doing,
no, we're
Either
doing
way.
we're doing fire and library next Tuesday.
Yeah.
DPW the
and then
following
the following
Thursday,
one, whatever we didn't get.
It would be the
we stop.
police.
Okay.
what about dispatch?
and dispatch,
Okay.
police and dispatch. If anybody needs to move them around,
Is there
they'll
any,
have to wait till town meeting in order to get that approved.
Okay.
is there a need to, do you feel the need for not stretching it out that maybe we could go 2 times on that a week? I'm not saying we need to go 2 nights a week yet, but is one in 3 weeks we should have everybody through. Are you good with that?
I'm thinking if we hit the major pieces where we stand now, that's what we're gonna have to
Okay,
start looking.
as long as you feel that that's good, knowing what
Cause
you
that
know.
was my whole thing, cause I was like, I don't think if we try to do, so about the only other thing that we could add on the 16th would be the Conservation Commission, because they do have a large addition.
Council on Aging is a pretty, percentage-wise, is a large, it's 50% increase, more than 50% increase.
You got community hall in addition.
I
You got
think
community center in
treasurer
addition.
collector is gonna be, probably a lengthy one, just because Becky's also gonna cover debt service and insurance and benefits and all that, so she'll probably need a good amount of time too.
Yeah, but we need her to go meet with the broker and come back with some options that we asked a year ago for.
Okay, I got it written.
And that
down.
should be easy to set up an appointment, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll call her tomorrow.
yeah, I
I'm gonna
mean,
take
this
off.
is
I'll get
something
paid
that
for- do I
was
get paid
very
time off?
well spoken last
Yes,
year.
absolutely, we pay double time pay
Oh.
off,
Double.
maybe even triple time.
You didn't say anything about the,
feel like you just
the
committed
large
to that.
print? And the extra
I wasn't
paper
the one that asked for it, but
that
I
come out of
appreciate
your
it.
line item.
I
That's
do
fine.
like it.
That's fine, I love it.
I
I
couldn't
love
read
my
that little
17,
thing
Mike did
anymore.
it for us too.
I had to search high and low for that paper. It was tough to find, because we don't use it very often.
Oh no, 11 by 7, yeah.
Yeah.
Mike was the one that bought it, cause he used to bring all of ours, cause I was like, we can't see this.
It was
You
over
did take that out of their
$10.
line item, right?
Yeah.
Sure, not a problem.
Right out of it. So I think we're good unless we wanna go a fourth week without this.
Right,
little
and that's,
things.
we gotta look to see, and then
We got
probably
time to
within
do
a
that.
couple of weeks, you should be able to have the needs, you think?
Yeah.
Are we doing any other small one on DPW's night?
I'm thinking we have the Concom come to tell us why that's my opinion, cause that's a brand new line item.
Yes.
So we gotta at
That's a
least
shared-
understand.
That's for shared service.
Okay,
Just telling you.
Yep.
And they'll explain that.
right, exactly, so figure it out, explain it to us and, you know,
Do you guys know what a health insurance plan costs the town per person, per chance?
I don't have that.
thank you very much.
Not off the top of my head.
And how many heads were added in this plan total? I know we went over it earlier, but,
We had 80 employees that are currently enrolled. in
no, I'm
health
sorry, how many
plan.
heads are budgeted for the increase?
1, 3,
Last
So
year we
1,
had one,
2,
didn't we?
3, 4, 5, 6,
6 heads total?
plus the conservation agent, so that could be 7.
7, okay. Okay.
The conservation agent would be a non-benefited position. I do know that they were intentionally going to have hours that would not qualify them for benefits. And a portion of the hours are also gonna be fulfilled by the town of Paxton if we went forward with the intermunicipal agreement. So that would be
Six,
non-benefited.
okay.
Yep.
So 6 at roughly 20 grand a person. That health insurance line is gonna be close then.
Yeah, I think Becky said it's usually 16 to 21, excuse me.
The proposed payroll clerk would be a non-benefited position. Currently in the assessor's office, the
Whoa, I heard assistant treasurer collector, you're telling me it's a payroll clerk?
It's not an assistant, we got an assistant
Lisa is
treasurer.
the assistant treasurer clerk.
Okay, so
This
it's a
would be the
payroll clerk.
Yeah. The position in the assessor's office, the administrative assistant, was previously 28 hours. It's now being cut down to 19 hours and is going to be a non-benefited position, so that's going to be
So you're
coming
cutting
off
some.
of our,
Okay.
in FY '24.
So in total, you're adding 4.
And
benefits.
there's,
It's closer, okay.
the accountant has been filled?
Yes.
Yes, and that's also non-benefited.
I know that, cause it's
Oh,
not enough
yeah.
hours, I do know that one, I do know is not enough hours.
That didn't take long to fill then.
Nope, please
So
don't tell me
may-
Dan took it,
No,
I'm not
she'll be
saying
at
no.
the select board meeting next week.
I just wanna make sure,
Her name is Don Butcher.
He's back.
he was back,
He's still kind of around.
he's the one who got us through the special town meeting.
Oh, I know.
Without him, we wouldn't have gotten there.
I know.
Interesting.
So, I mean, nothing else looks like a huge thing, but if you put this, I'll send this to you when I, and then.
Send it to me, I'll give it to you by Saturday morning.
Perfect, Saturday, Sunday,
Saturday, I'll give it to you Saturday morning.
perfect.
Expect it tomorrow.
What's
Yeah.
that?
What do you got planned for tomorrow? Can't you get it to me by
Nothing,
now?
it's gonna be cold, I'm in the house
Stay
the whole
inside.
day
Sounds like a
tomorrow.
perfect time.
You know what I'm saying, that's why I offered.
Then what's stopping Friday?
Well, I gotta take the day. I don't think
He's gonna
about it,
check
it
his work
happens.
when he's done.
You're fired.
Okay.
We're gonna dock your pay, Pete,
Yeah,
with
Dock.
0%
yeah,
of zero.
there it goes,
God.
there it goes, we're gonna have to take out that line item,
Okay.
there it goes.
Anyone got anything else?
So Karen, yeah, one more time, give me so I can contact Tuesday night participants.
Tuesday night is
Fire.
all of Seth, all of Seth's,
Okay.
and then the library.
Fire and related.
You know what, you wanna do the library first and then do Seth? That
So
would
she
probably
doesn't
be,
have to
that'd
sit
probably be
through it.
easier for her.
Start time?
6:15. Does that work for everybody? Is that too early for you? Do you wanna start later?
No,
Speak up now or forever hold your
I
peace.
got caught up as I was leaving the office. So
4:30 is good.
Sorry, I work till 5.
5's good.
I work till now. I'm still working.
Still answering emails. I need phone people.
Is-
So.
6:15,
It's,
6:15, library
seriously,
first?
guys, is 6:15 okay?
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay,
No,
Gives me an
Okay.
excuse to leave.
gives me a little leeway.
okay.
As far as a meeting space, Karen, so I can reserve the room, do you want me to ask Harry if we can reserve the Calkins room?
Yes,
For the
please.
rest of the season?
Yes, please. Is that okay with everybody? Or would you rather go into the select board room?
Whatever you guys want.
Doesn't matter.
If you do select board, he'll set up the tables for you.
No, our room is fine.
Yeah, I think,
The
yeah,
conference room is fine.
Yeah.
I'm sort of comfortable in it.
Isn't
That's-
that our room?
That's kind of where we've always been. I told you, that's what I know, that's what I
Harry
prefer.
will say no. That's
I
not
already
your
told,
room.
Alex is right. It's kind of our room.
Yeah,
That's
it
where
is.
we're gonna go.
I mean,
We
the
should
fact
have
that
a
we're not
plaque
there
on
right
it.
now is a little bit
Yeah,
sad.
Just concerning.
Yeah, we should go in
Scary.
there right now.
Yeah, just go right
but it's
down.
closed.
It's closed. They can close.
Yeah. All right.
It's not allowed.
All right, so that's a
Okay.
scoop. So that's what we've got now for the next 3 weeks. We'll get this squared
That's
away,
like
we'll get this out.
90% of the budget.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes.
And then we can probably meet with treasurer,
If we need
collector
to.
and all that. Does she have Worcester Regional Retirement?
I'll find that out, I don't know.
Yeah,
So the select board next week is gonna be voting whether or not to approve the 2% cost
2%,
of living
yeah.
increase. And I do believe that she has those figures.
the 2% cost of living increase for what?
Worcester County Retirement.
Okay, and.
Retirees.
The old folks.
I-
2%.
You don't scare
They
me,
were going for
Tommy
5.
scares me more, and I don't have a
Reduced
problem
it to
telling
2,
them
They
that.
were going for 5.
The only other thing is that, I sent you a spreadsheet that that I asked you to have all the departments fill out that with wages, remember?
Okay,
Remember during Christmas and New Year's I stopped up?
okay,
Get to spend some quality time,
okay.
just because that helps us to see, here's what they were paid, here's what they're gonna be paid this year. This is the base salary, this is a step, this is a this is a that, this is, so that we can, because that all kinda gets lost
For all employees or just non-union?
for all non-union.
For non-union, okay.
Yeah.
But not anybody that.
Cause the union guys, it's all in their contract, we don't have a choice.
Yeah, but when we want to see that?
Are union guys?
I
Sure.
can't do anything about it, so there's no point
Yeah.
in having to work.
Right,
with
I mean,
putting
we're
it
stuck
together.
You
with
still wanna
what they
know.
signed
Well,
up.
is it public record?
It
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
We still would like to know it, don't we?
I mean,
They're
to
posted
Darren's
on the
point,
website.
if it's public record, why not?
Because it takes more time to put together for people who have to put it together. And it's all, it doesn't,
Well, they have to
doesn't
do
add
it,
anything. 'cause
they
we
have
don't
to do it
anything about
anyway, but
Right.
all I'm saying is for the non-union guys, it would be nice to see where we're standing so that here's where it was budgeted, here's what was added. So I sent you the spreadsheet. It was,
I remember
here's what
the
it was,
spreadsheet.
here's the ad for the special town meeting.
I do.
Here's this.
I think we essentially already have that. That's that huge document that Becky had created that we've been using as we've created the
Yeah.
budget, and it
Yeah.
showed what the change was as of January
Right.
1, and then it shows what everybody's step and changes are as of FY
Yeah, but
24.
I want it base salary, step, cost of living. I want it very split out so that we can see,
I think it has that actually.
Yeah,
And it has, and it
It's
has
listed
individual.
employee for employee.
Employee
Okay.
for employee, yeah.
I would like it, yeah, that way, so that
Let me send
it
you
makes
what
it a
we
little bit
have.
easier, yeah,
We'll
because
send you what we
it's,
have and just let us know if it works for you.
I sent you that spreadsheet. If
You
it
did
fits
send it,
that
I know, I remember
spreadsheet,
seeing
then
it.
it works, that's what I
But
want.
you might like this better, it's in color.
No,
No, because she doesn't like when we print in color.
no, don't print in
Not
color,
in the
that
budget.
kills me.
She's a bookkeeper. They don't
Jesus
want
Christ,
to
they're-
I like color.
Nope, it's expensive, we don't have the money.
Oh,
We're
okay.
$3 million in the hole, we
Talk to her.
can't afford.
talk to her.
Can't-
Everybody likes color except Karen, so we have to get this black and white.
Exactly.
I did do color on your cover.
Yeah, I know, but that's
I had
minimal.
to do that. I
It's
know, I
minimal.
had to.
You could have told me the kids colored it and I'd be fine with that.
They did.
With this pen.
With that, yeah.
So we're good right now,
We're
right?
good.
All right, so.
Well, we're
Yeah, yes.
good.
But before we adjourn,
Yep,
I've had at least one selectman come to me and another member of town. While I don't think that the selectmen need to be, it has to be a combined meeting, I would make sure that it's glad to see Skip here, but I would like to extend it through Gary, that we would love to have them, if they would like to come to our meetings, that I would love, I don't want the interpretation is we don't need the selectmen. We need the selectmen all the way through this fight. And-
Always have been
No,
welcome.
but I think that,
Terrence saying to extend an invitation.
But isn't it just an extended invitation anyway?
well, they.
Anytime they want, Carol was here for a while and.
I understand that, but we were at a meeting and it was said that we, should we combine the meetings? And we said no.
Mhm.
And some people's nose was maybe a little out of joint. So let's just make sure that we, through Gary, breeze that back, make them happy, because we're all gonna have to work together to make this all work.
We're in a public meeting now. Anybody can show up.
I understand that, but I
So,
don't.
I'm just saying that you're right. If they wanna be able to show up, I mean, Skip is here, Carol was here. If they wanna show up,
And Leah comes via Zoom a lot,
Right.
and she's here, so.
so,
Through the
But-
chair?
yes.
What the problem lies if more than two people come, now we have a quorum.
oh,
But the thing is if you are sitting, it's no different. If three people, if me, Lynn, and Darren come to a select board meeting, we are not deciding, we have no vote, but the three of us can come
as citizens.
as citizens. There's
But-
nothing that says you
But some of
can't.
the temperament of our board, and the board of selectmen, might
Okay.
speak in properly
I can speak, Lynn can speak, and Darren can speak at a select board meeting, and we're not speaking on behalf of the finance committee, we're speaking on behalf of our individual selves.
I would think they'd have to open a meeting for that to be able to take effect.
No, cause you're just citizens, you're not members.
And to what Skip was saying, that if they open the meeting, then now you've got a quorum and you're
What I'm saying
conducting
is
business.
the three of us go, or the four of us go.
Right.
We're a quorum at their meeting, but we're not there to discuss anything. We're there as citizens.
Okay.
There's nothing to say that you can't have more than those members to show up
I-
because they don't have a say.
I guess where I'm going with this is, whatever if it works out the way it works out, it's good. I don't want anybody's nose out of joint. I just want everybody to get along, because we're gonna all have to be on the same team. If they'd like to come, we'd love to have them.
Absolutely.
Always.
And then, after that, I'm good. Motion to adjourn.
I
Second.
got one more thing. No,
Go ahead.
time out. Can I talk?
Yes, you can.
All I wanna know, Karen, if you would, just send me the schedule you have for the
No.
departments. Thank you very much. Now you can do what you
Don't
want.
worry, I'll send it, I have it.
Oh, it's okay, I can send them to it.
Okay.
We
It's
have
not a problem,
motion
I'll
and a
send it.
second.
It's seconded.
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.